close this incredible law of priorities, let's go back to the diagram one more time. I want you to, instead of looking at priorities on the left-hand column, I want you to look at people. I wish I had 30 minutes to teach this part of the lesson. I'll try to do it in 30 seconds. If you have 10 people in your organization, or let's say you have 100 and each number represents 10, here's what Pareto says. You have 100 people in your organization. If you prioritize them according to effectiveness in your company, 20 of those 100 people would be giving you 80% return on everything you need in your organization. And the other 80 would be giving you a 20% return. And what Pareto would be saying to you and me as leaders is, you better prioritize your people. And what he would be saying is, once you prioritize them according to effectiveness, here's what Pareto would say is, he would say, spend 80% of your time with the top 20%. Because that's where the return is. Let me tell you what our biggest mistake is as leaders. I see it happening all the time. Instead of spending 80% of our time with our top 20%, do you know who we spend 80% of our time with? The bottom 20%. Because they've got questions and they want help and they've got an alley and oh, it's tough. We say, well, the top 20% they don't need my time. The bottom 20% they need your time. Listen, you've got to decide whether you're going to be a counselor or an equipper. If you're a counselor, you're going to work with the bottom 20%. If you're an equipper, you're going to work with the top 20%. If you're a counselor, you're going to work on the weaknesses of people. If you're an equipper, you're going to work on the strengths. And I'll discuss that in another law. Well, the law of priorities is absolutely huge. Basically, Pareto says, get your act together. Prioritize your life, prioritize your people, prioritize your time, and give 80% of the time to the top 20%, you'll get a huge return.
What'd you guys get there? You pick up a lot of odds.
What's your top 20%?
Lead generation.
Lead generation, right? What else is your top 20%?
Lead follow-up.
Lead follow-up, and then what? Show property, write contracts, right?
Right.
So if you...
Hold on. Yeah, that's major league stuff. We're not writing that down. You will 20%. So what is it again?
What is it, you guys? Right? If you're writing contracts, who's happy?
Everybody.
Right. If you're not writing contracts, what happens?
We're all sad.
Everybody's sad, right? Everybody's figuring out, what do I need to do? What am I going to do? Yeah. So we're passing around calendars. In that calendar, I want you guys to spend 10 minutes in taking your top 20% and making that 50% of your day. Does that make sense? Go through the entire month and time block out 50% of your day, and in that 50% is your top 20%. So whether that's lead generation, it's lead follow-up, it's writing contracts, it's showing property, whatever it is, go through that exercise. Take 10 minutes to knock that out. Be fast. If you can do it faster than 10 minutes, that's great.
This is live, guys.
Yeah. Do you need a calendar?
Yeah, make it more.
Oh, okay.
What was he saying?
More people than
A blank calendar.
Yeah.
Would it be lead generation? Time block, 50% of your days, the top 20%.
So your top 20%, block that out for 50% of your day.
Give somebody a little bit of help. Nick, what do we do Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8:30 to 10:30?
What's it called? Dialing for dollars.
Dialing for dollars?
Yeah.
Maybe that's something you guys put on your calendar. We get together here and you're just reaching out to your sphere of influence, touching base with them.
You guys, on our team, we have 3 call sessions a week where everybody comes to 2 out of the 3 of those call sessions, and we all prospect together. So I'm prospecting for new agents. The agents are prospecting for new buyers, whether it's pay-per-click advertising or their sphere of influence. or it's people that they have met throughout the community and trying to dive into that.
Hey, Kelly, can I ask you, why do you guys all get together? Why don't you do
It's
it
so much more fun. I mean, and then we shake the tambourine when somebody gets an appointment. It just, you know, we get pizza and beer if it's in the evening. I mean, you gotta make that fun. That's the least fun task of our job, right? Would everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
That's why nobody wants to do it. So,
Can I ask you another thing? Not that anybody in here might be thinking this, but you know, maybe an agent that's out there might be thinking, well, yeah, that sounds all good and everything, but you know, it's too loud.
yeah, it's not too loud. You'll be surprised. There's just good energy. We got the idea from the Netemeyer team, and they've had tremendous success. We've just started it in the last 3 months. We've had tremendous success with it, and you know, you're just all together then. And if somebody is like, God, lose my number, you know, you can laugh about it. You got other people around you to laugh with you versus doing it by yourself and you getting kind of a little down and out about it.
What are they saying when they call?
The agent, I mean, it just depends on what position they're in, but if they're a buyer's agent, they're saying, you know, hey, who do you know that's moving next? Or, you know, we met you at an event we did in October. I know you said that you're looking at the first of the year. You know, we have so many appointments coming up in the first year, and just wanted to get you on the calendar so we could, you know, match your motivation with our motivation, stuff like that.
If you come here Tuesday morning, we'll actually equip you with some scripts.
That's cool. Hey, Jan. Okay, you guys still working on the top 50%? How hard is it to come up with filling that up for half of your day?
Not hard.
It's not, right? And if you guys focus on your top 20%, what's going to happen?
You need to hire somebody.
Right? You're going to need to hire somebody. So on our team, what's happening with some of our buyer's agents is they're so busy that they've had to hire admin support, and now they're hiring showing assistants. So they're creating their own pads, which each and every one of you, if you want to do that, can do that. You want to do it? Yeah.
No, I'm in.
Yeah, that's good. So, I mean, it's just about managing your time effectively. If you manage your time effectively, you can get so much knocked out. I mean, listen to Jeff and Becky. They were at 2 charity events this weekend. They got a buyer and a seller. I mean, there's so many things that you can smash in a day, and it's awesome. And the busier you are, the more you get done. Does everybody else feel that way?
You have to stay on task.
But you have to stay on task. Yeah, super important. Okay, so keep working on that. I'd encourage you guys. We did the exercise. I had my team fill out the entire year because it's so important to stay on task. Then we went through and we did the GPS model, and this is the GPS plan. It's your goal on the top. How many transactions do you want to do this year? That goes there. Then you have 3 priorities that you can work through. Did you, I think that they need some over there, guys. Okay, cool. They're coming, Mark. So on the top, you've got your goal. Yes?
No, I'm sorry, I need one of those.
Okay. Fabulous. Then you've got 3 priorities, and underneath each one of those 3 priorities, you have 5 strategies. Okay? So your goal, who wants to shoot out their goal? What are people going to do this year in terms of number of transactions? What's yours, Laura? There, girl.
I'm doubling my business this year.
Okay, and how does that break down in transactions?
67 transactions.
67 transactions.
Can I stop real quick there? Now, is that a number that somebody just pulled out of thin air, or do you think there might have been some thought behind it?
I know mine. Fabulous. What's yours?
My number is, did you do transactions?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have to do 25 transactions.
Okay. So you're like 2 point something every month. What are you, about 5 point something? 5.5, right? You guys,
2.5 appointments per week.
okay. You have
And I also
to,
know what my SOI has to be to get there.
okay. You have to break it down to weekly. Do not break down monthly goal. I mean, break them down monthly, but then go to the next level, because even monthly, that is a scary number sometimes, right? So if you break it down to weekly, and you really look at it weekly, and then you go back to looking at the activities that you've done, then that ramps up, and then your numbers start ramping up, and it just kind of goes from there. So underneath priority number 1, lead generation, right? That's a number 1 priority. What are 5 strategies that you guys can think of to lead generate?
Can I share something with you? One of those that I would put in there would be putting my clients into the EDGE contact management system and doing the 33
I think that's a great idea.
Just to let you know, agents that actually, they physically put their clients in the database and then they hit send. That's the massive amount of work that they do. Massive. Their business on average goes up 67%.
You guys, and we're going to talk about EDGE in a second.
EDGE contact management system. You know, great question. Great question. It's a 33 touch that's up.
You guys, just by tapping these people and literally you not doing anything except putting them on that drip campaign, it's so easy. And we're getting so much business from it. So whether it's there, or it's in Tiger Leads, or whatever systems that you have, it's huge. And they come back, so it starts off a little bit slower, but then when they're ready, they will raise their hand because they think that you've been emailing them for the last year and a half, right? So that's huge. Okay, so under lead generation, let's go with 5 strategies. Who's got a strategy?
I'm gonna call them and invite them to client appreciation and ask if there's anything I do for them, see if they reciprocate.
Okay, come from contribution, right? I'm sure you guys hear about that all the time. Picking up the phone and calling your sphere of influence on a quarterly basis is going to get you business, no matter what. 10% of your base should move on an annual basis. So if you have 200 people in your base, you should see 20 transactions from that. Are you guys seeing that? If you're not, it means you're not touching them enough. Does that make sense? Call them, email them,
Mail.
Postcard them.
postcard them if you have dollars for mail. Show up where you think bunches of them may be. So if there's some kind of party or networking thing that you can go to, do it. What would happen if you guys reached out to one more person every day? That's 7 people a week. What would that do for your business? That's it. So when you're ready to pack up at 3:30 in the afternoon, or better yet, you didn't even come in that day, and you think, what should I be doing? Bust out another 1 to 3 calls. That's it, right? So easy to do. Yes? Yes?
Yes,
So,
yes.
someone said prospect for your business, and then what you just talked about, Kelly, that's your long-term.
But
That's
it's
like,
both. It's
yeah.
long-term and it's short-term. You never know who's going to say to you, oh, you know what, at the first of the year, I've got to get my house on the market. I'm so glad you called. How easy is that? So easy. And you know what it is, if you think, oh, I've got to make 30 calls today, that seems like a huge project, doesn't it? What if you just broke it down? When I first got out of being sick in the hospital, John was doing a 90-day capper challenge, and he was like, just make 5 calls by, I think, 10 o'clock, and then it was like another 10 by 11 o'clock. Boy, did that seem like, ooh, that's a cakewalk comparatively.
So it's breaking that down. So it's 5 by 9, 10 by 10, 20 by 12.
How easy is that? And not phone calls, contacts, right? So for all of you guys that were in bold, they would tell you the same thing. They tell you that because it works. So especially for those of you guys that are your own, you are it. You are a one-man machine. That is going to get dollars in your pocket faster than anything else. Right? Yeah. Okay. So that's the first part.
Can I come in there for a second?
Yeah.
Some of you guys know I was actually at a training in Austin this past week, and one of the things that really resonated with me is Dick Dillingham. I'll tell you what, if you guys aren't friends with him on Facebook, immediately go friend him. The guy's unbelievable. His name's Dick Dillingham, and he said something to me that really kind of goes in line with what John Maxwell says. It's it's not about working hard, it's about working smart. And he's in line, I lead generate so I don't have to tolerate. So I love what John Maxwell's talking about, like how and Jackie on the side is that when you prioritize your 20%, it's not just your activities, it's the people. I think you're going to dive into that a little bit.
Yes. So the next priority is your people. So your people might be you, right? You got to take really good care of you, right? Or you might need to take care of you and 1 other person, 2 other people, 50 other people. you guys take really, really, really good care of your people.
Can I ask you this? Would your people be your clients too?
Yes, they are absolutely 100% your clients.
So hold on. So if they're my clients too, then maybe there's an 80-20 principle with my clients?
No question. So as you guys are adding members to your teams, if you're going that direction, look at who those people are that are taking great care of you, your business, all of that, and treat them well. Like better, people used to say to me all the time, you overpay Tracy Kirkpatrick. When I fell out for a year and a half due to illness, nobody was saying that, especially me. So I would say pay them as much as you possibly can, and they will take good care of you if you have the right person in play, right?
Right.
That is a big if. For those of you guys who are looking to hire people, go through Recruit, Select, and Action, Lead, Train, Motivate. I'm not here to just pitch tons of training, but I will tell you that showed me how to treat people well, and it got to the point where I just had to put a little check mark on my calendar so I remembered to compliment people. You know, I mean, it's just little stuff that goes so far, and it just isn't natural to me to go and do that all the time. The people out of this room that know me would definitely say that's true. But it is something that I trained myself to do. So you can train people to do anything and everything. Okay, so take really good care of your people. How are you going to do that? Look at 5 strategies to either take better care of yourself or take better care of your people. Because who are we always the hardest on? Right? So take better care of yourself. Okay, the third priority is systems. What systems are you using? If you're not systematized to some degree, then you're going to go like this. What the systems are going to do, they're going to take you like this. So your trajectory is just going, you know, higher and higher. So, you know, we're going to talk a little bit more about E-Edge. We were able to work really, really hard. Here, I don't want to steal your thunder. You want to do it?
Yeah, well, I mean, go ahead. So I did mention that there's a major announcement with E-Edge. Has there been a hiccup with E-Edge, with how we're able to get it into play?
There's been a huge hiccup. Yes.
What's the challenge? What have we been kind of trying to work around?
Throw on. What was that?
In E-Edge, I mean.
In E-Edge, what's been the big problem with E-Edge?
For me, or just in general?
Just in general, what's the
wolf net.
The IDX?
IDX, can't get it with
So
the
basically, when a client would go to your site, it would just show Keller Williams properties.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what the agents, or is that what the clients want to see?
No.
They want to see everything, right? So that's what's called IDX. And through a massive amount of effort, through Market Leader and with working with MLS, Kelly was instrumental. AJ Owen and a number of other individuals really helped out quite a bit. And now you guys have IDX that works.
How about that? Yeah, so just went live.
That's a majorly process, and now I think it's going to help people get past that limiting belief that there's a challenge with it. And you guys are going to really see what the power of this platform is. And so look forward to over the next week or two, there'll actually be a webinar that'll come out. You guys will be well aware of it, and you'll find out exactly how to go ahead and get this IDX to work on your E-Edge. So pretty cool stuff.
So that's a system really that can take you all the way from the very beginning of getting a lead in to the system all the way through doing it paperlessly and finishing at the end with happy clients. You guys are happy. It's more efficient. So it just saves a ton of time, and I think it's great. So we have launched that as of Thursday of last week, and it is so far so good. So that's terrific.
Kind of give you an idea of the value of the system. Basically, E-Edge is a platform that has third-party vendors coordinate and keep everything basically all seamless together, from basically getting the lead all the way to the close. If you guys were to go ahead and subscribe to all of the different resources, it'd be about $310 a month, and it wouldn't be integrated. All of the stuff is integrated. So
we're getting rid of Top Producer because of it. So I know. How about it? We've used Top Producer for the last 5 years, and we are going to be able to get rid of that system. So
I still got mine.
yeah. I mean, understand the new system before you do away with the old, of course. So So, okay, so really it comes down to lead generation, understanding, developing people, and your systems, right? Okay, then here is something that is called the critical path. And what you guys will see on the critical path is really staying on target and being really honest with yourself or your team members, right? So this critical path is gonna tell you, and you can get this through the action, lead, train, motivate piece of it, but you can literally chart out how many appointments did you go on that week? Because what happens if you go on appointments typically? Right activities, right results, yes? Okay, so if that's the case, track it. So you can say, okay, you know what? I totally did an amazing job, but then the next week I totally fell down because I was too busy handling this over here. Well, if you don't keep it in balance, your business is gonna go like this. So make sure that your business is just going on a trajectory up, right? Wow, Jeff, are you gonna actually
Ding, ding,
this
ding,
year?
the lights and the bells are going. Oh.
So that's the, that's good. That's good.
The hook.
So you guys take that critical path and really, use that as an accountability tool for yourself. If you cannot be accountable to yourself, get an accountability partner. Really, you guys are all such a great group of people. And I know Lori does some coaching. I mean, there are people here that are totally willing to help you and you are sitting right next to them. Help each other. And I think that you'll find that you will have a tremendous amount of success this year. So put in your strategies, put in your numbers, all of that what you want to hit, and knock it out of the park.
I don't know, guys, do you think that's pretty good stuff? Maybe one or two ahas. I've got one that I think is pretty fun here that is pretty cool stuff, but one or two ahas or anything there. Not all at once.
They should track and keep on track. You have to keep on track.
Yeah, right. Success or failure is won daily, right? So we got to track that. I think it's cool. Julie.
Work the top 20%. Nothing else matters.
It doesn't.
Figure out what your top 20% is and just do it.
Yep. I think that's pretty cool. I like that.
What I think I heard is just whatever, like center of influence, 5 strategies. For sale by owner, 5 strategies. Taking care of my father, 5 strategies. So each little component have 5 strategies around that. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I love that somebody kind of hit on that. So Keith, I love that you kind of talk about the 5 strategies, even outside of real estate. You guys catch that? Again, Dick Dillingham shared this with me this past week. How many folks want to be the best parent out there?
I am the best parent. Yes, you are.
Right? So now this is a rhetorical question. How many of you guys actually have a system? The rhetorical question. How many of you guys have a system for being the best parent? There you go. I like that. So here's the cool piece of this. He talked about purposeful will always beat talent. I write that down. Purposeful will always beat talent. That's why systems are so critical there. So that's something to be thinking about. A couple ahas that I got from it. First of all, I've got to know what my strengths are. To figure out what my 20% is, I got to know what my strengths are. If you guys are looking for a quick shortcut there, there's a book called Strength Finders 2.0. It's $20 or something like that. The read isn't actually amazing, but it actually will take you through a survey that will really help you break down what your strengths are. Strength Finders 2.0.
Can't borrow it.
What's that?
Can't borrow the book.
Yeah, you can't borrow it. Yeah, basically you're given a code to do a test online, or I should say assessment, and then it actually just gives you what your strengths are. So that could go ahead and help you out with that, and it goes into great detail. The other thing that I thought was a cool aha, it's impressively simple.
It's so simple, right?
So what I mean by that is, you guys have one page basically. That action plan is, one goal, 4 priorities that each have 5 strategies to it. I mean, that's not a 17-page business plan, right? I mean, and by the way, guys, that's called a system. That's called a system. Those are a couple of ahas that I have. What are some other things that you've seen in your team? How's it impacted your team?
The ones that choose to stay in the top 20% are the ones that have the most success. And the ones that want to fight about it and fight it, they fail. And it just, if you can stay in that top 20%, those are, and to Maxwell's point of, I don't want to deal with anybody that's not in my top 20%. I just don't. It's not important enough to take time away from what your top 20% is and who your top 20% is to spend it with the bottom 80. So what does that mean for your teams? That there's going to be turnover sometimes, and that's okay, because you definitely want to be in business with the sharpest, best people that are doing whatever functionality that they're having.
Okay. The whole thing about, am I gonna be a counselor or an equipper? It's so easy to wanna be that counselor to everybody, because you really wanna help, and you really wanna mentor, and you wanna do all these things, but, you know, I kind of flip it around, because to me, I have to think about it from the opposite end of thing. If, you know, who is my top 20, but whose top 20 do I wanna be in? I wanna be in the top 20 of people who are doing the things that I wanna do, and living the lifestyle that I want to live. So I have to be the person who they count as their 20%, so we can collaborate on all levels, and we don't have to counsel each other. We can mastermind and brainstorm together to make things better for everybody, right?
Totally agree. Yeah. Wealth determiners.
Yeah, I like that, because it's who's the person I have to become. One of the major things about today, guys, I hope that you're taking away from this, is it's there to build an awareness of that principle and what that 20% is throughout the entire day. And another thing, as I'm thinking about it, this really does, you don't need to implement any of this stuff if your goal is to be average or to be mediocre. Don't worry about it. I'm not talking to those people, because you guys are here and engaged and you want to maximize your performance. It's going to require you to understand this principle and, quite frankly, master it.
You guys, do you know how many times I've watched that video? Probably close to 100 times. I watch it over and over and over again. And you know, Keller Williams has always said, oh, take trainings over and over. And I thought, why am I going to waste my time to do that? And I just cannot tell you enough times how important it is. Take these trainings over and over again, because you're going to be in different places in your business, and when you're in different places, you hear things differently. So whether it's Bold or Bold Leadership or Recruit Select or Action, Lead, Train, Motivate, all of those classes have so much worth to them. And definitely all of his videos, all those 21 principles are all on YouTube. So, you know, I don't know, maybe you guys aren't bored.
One a day for 21 days, right?
There you go. It just, I watch that stuff over and over.
If you guys are looking for, that was the law of priorities that you saw. Law of priorities.
John Maxwell, and if you pull up John Maxwell leadership videos, it'll pop right out.
So is that pretty good stuff? I like that. Thank you very much, Ms. Kelly. I appreciate that. I think that we can all go ahead and learn from that. I think it's going to help us hit our goals this year and explode out of the gate in 2013. Adding clarity, adding power. It's another great one. We're running a couple minutes over, but I think that you guys would agree it's well worth our time. Yes. I do want to go ahead and find out a little bit what's going on with some of the Limited Mutual Loving. Right here, tell me a little bit about what's going on in your world.
Well, kind of ties together. Didn't even plan it really, but finalize my business plan for next year. And I don't know if you're a newer agent or if you're an older agent. Really changed my career when I started doing this. If you don't have a business plan, work down to a day, a task, you're just not going to see yourself. And you know, I always start from the top down. Start with an income goal. Okay, start with an income goal, then how many policies I need to get there. And literally, if you don't have a goal that scares the hell out of you, start over. And I'm serious about that. I literally got sick to my stomach. I really did. I felt like, oh my God, I cannot do that. There's no way in hell. And then I started breaking it down to my referral partners, breaking it down to everything. And I got all the way down to how many calls I have to make per day, how many quotes I have to do per day, how many quotes per week. And you know what? I looked at it and I go, I can totally do this. I can totally do it. And that goal that first scared the hell out of me and really made me sick to my stomach, I had it knocked down to a day. So my goal this year is to increase my business 43%. That's a big goal. That's the biggest goal I've had since I've been there in 8 years. But I've got quality people around me. I've got you guys too, and you guys are going to be a huge part of my business. I've got a new sales assistant. I've got the system.